Hey, what's up you guys? It is your girl Bree. Now today is gonna be a makeup video, but I'm going to add some facts on it today because I decided that I wanted to celebrate Black History Month as well. Since it is February, I thought, why don't I do a video? So let's get to it. Today's video, I'm going to talk about Phillis Wheatley Peters, and I'm also going to do an orange and white look that was requested to me in my comments. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with primer as always, and we're going to start talking about Phillis Wheatley. Now, Phillis Wheatley was born May 8th, 1753. Around 7 or 8 years old, she was kidnapped and sold into slavery. She was bought by John Wheatley, and because of her young age, she was considered to be weak and fragile. So she was a house slave. She was actually John Wheatley's wife's personal servant. It is said that it was hard to miss her intelligence as she worked with her masters on the inside of the house. So they decided, why don't we educate you and teach you how to read and write and stuff, because you're wicked smart. So she's like, yeah, why not? So they taught her how to read and write, and they also taught her theology. And it is said that she soon mastered the languages Greek, Latin, and English. It's said that her masters encouraged her to pursue her literary dreams, and they also helped her publish many of her poems. She published her first poem when she was 13 years old. Her first poem, when she was 13, was about two men who nearly drowned at sea. Phillis Wheatley was the first African-American enslaved person to ever publish a book of poems. And she was one of the first women to ever publish a book. One of the first three. Phillis, she was able to be freed at around 20 years old. And just because she was freed, though, doesn't mean that she didn't keep in contact with the family. And the Wheatley family, actually, they continued to help her publish her books and her poems after. The Wheatley family continued to help her. She did not make a lot of money, and she didn't actually get a lot of the books and poems published. Some say that it's because of her black skin, that they didn't accept her poems and didn't want to publish it. And others just say it was because she was a woman. They didn't think it necessary to publish a woman's poem or book. But nonetheless, the Wheatleys still tried to help her until they passed, and she still continued to write poems and books. Now, Miss Phillis Wheatley, she really supported the Revolutionary War and all that stuff. She believed in freedom, and because of that, she published many poems about freedom and about how she encouraged everybody to keep fighting. She even wrote some that got to Mr. President. Well, he wasn't president then, but to the General George Washington. Now, it is said that Washington liked her work so much that he even sent her a letter. It is said that in the letter, George was like, hey, how you doing, Phillis? Read some of your poems. They're very encouraging. And I'd like to talk to you over some tea sometime, if you have any time to visit me at my humble abode. And Phillis, she's like, yo, I just got invited to the general's house. Like, maybe I should go. I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe I will. So, they do say that they did meet up, and she visits him at his humble abode. Which is like, okay, cool, whatever. jail, and he talks to her about all the things she's written, whatever. Okay, yeah, it doesn't say that, but I imagine that's what they talked about. Not really sure what else they talk about. Poems about the Revolutionary War actually helped many soldiers and George Washington himself and other generals stay motivated and encourage them to keep fighting for their freedom. But unfortunately, although she wrote so many poems for them, for their freedom, it was still very hard for her to sell and to make money off of her poems. Like I said before, Wheatley, she was, emancipated. She was freed at around age 20, a little bit after, and not too long after she was freed, both her masters had passed away, and they weren't able to help her publish anymore, so she tried to do it on her own, and unfortunately, no dice. So her writing career didn't take off very well, and she got married, and not to a very wealthy man either. He was very poor. John Peters was very poor, and they didn't make a lot of money. So unfortunately, he gets sent to prison for debt because they have a lot of debt. And she picks up a job as a maid. She has her baby. She was pregnant when he went to prison. She has her baby, picks up her job as a maid, and she says she did it before, so she didn't think it would be hard. Unfortunately, though, she falls ill and does pass away at age 31, very young age, and her infant child, also passes away shortly after, which is really sad. And when her husband gets out of prison, he has no one to go to. So that, my friends, is the story, summary of Miss Phillis Wheatley Peters. Now I'm just gonna get some mascara on, and this look is done.